Welcome back to the Sport of Fitness podcast. Sorry, we're running a little late. I had to get the hair done and the mustache cone because of the awkward promo video that we had to do this show. But we have a jam-packed show today. I know you guys will all hear about what the announcement will be today. We have a special guest to make that announcement. Coming up just after this, Mr. Ty Jenkins will be joining the show. After that, we'll have Kevin Ogar and then Heather Lawrence. And obviously, we will finish with our top 10 feats of fitness. So more on what that announcement will be. Up next is Mr. Ty Jenkins.
How long are you going to listen to a society that tells you it's a pill, it's an injection, it's this, it's that? There is no quick fix. Yes, optimal health can be a reality. Yes, you don't have to be the quickest, the strongest. All it takes is you making a decision right now. This is your time. Because practice makes permanent.
Ty Jenkins.
What's going on?
It's not a lot of time I have a guy on the show that has better hair than I do, but you, sir, look fantastic.
I appreciate it. You're
Thanks
talking about the promo video, though? Those things have been awesome lately.
Hasn't it been? I mean, obviously, I'm a company man. Everybody says I am, and I get paid to say these things. If they only knew what I got paid to say. I love everything that we've been coming out with lately. The new culture one that just dropped recently was, I mean, who's been saying that for, I don't know. Someone has been saying that for a couple of years. Maybe bring it back. So it's nice to see that back. But you are here to make an announcement, which everybody is waiting to hear. But, you know, we're gonna talk a little bit about you, Mr. Ty Jenkins. Now, are you related to Leroy Jenkins by any means? Or do you even know the reference that I am even attributing that to?
Oh no, my friends, we talk about that all the time. Okay. Unfortunately not, but
yeah.
You can only hope, you know.
It's one of the greatest moments, but I didn't know if you heard this, but this is probably one of the more heartbreaking things I ever heard. I heard that wasn't real.
Really? That was like
about a couple weeks ago. I heard that was just kind of like it's like AI before AI came along, which I think AI is just going to destroy social media for us. And I'm all for that because now I can't tell what's real and what's fake. But yeah, I'm glad you got the reference. Now you're not making me feel as old as I look next to you. But Ty, while I have you here, obviously you have an announcement for us in just a little bit. We have 5 questions for you before our segment is over. And the answer to one of those will be that announcement, but you are coming off your first year as an elite individual, qualifying for the CrossFit Games, 15th in your rookie debut, brother. That was some fantastic stuff. What was it like qualifying on that end? You're a 3-time teen champ, qualify for your first game. You only had a year break in between teen and elite Indy. So what was that? What was that like for your experience versus teen to individual competition?
The word I keep coming back to on it is heavy. And I think that's a mix of both metaphorically the pressure and then obviously physically the workouts being so much heavier as strength was the biggest focus the last 2 years. But I just remember the pressure at Syndicate Crown was nothing like I'd ever felt in a live competition before. And it was just, I mean, so electric, and it just made me want to chase the feeling all season long. And so after Syndicate, specifically that last event, so much pressure, so much energy, just so much kind of, I don't even know, just results in performance, so much excitement. And then the games just double, tripled all of that. And so it was awesome. And I have had a great, just enjoyable season making that jump.
What was the biggest lesson you learned from the elite individual side this past season?
Consistency over a weekend makes success. Because in the teenage fields, we had 20 athletes in 2021 and then 10 for the next 2 years. So you could afford to hit home runs and then take an 8th place. But in a field of 40, at Syndicate, you can't really afford to finish outside the top 10. And so that's something we worked towards this season, was just being consistent over the course of a weekend. You don't have to hit the home run, and just be solid everywhere. And that was the biggest lesson this season that's led to some success.
One of the things I've really enjoyed about your journey is we've been watching you since you were a team. It was really cool to see you make it so early. I mean, what are you, 19 years old now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 19 years old, qualifying for your first elite individual CrossFit Games this past season. But what I love to see is those other things outside of the competition floor. And what I got to see from you this year is you were on the competition floor at the divisional games for the age groupers this year, but you were on the mic as an MC. What made you want to come back and do something like that?
Yeah, they'd approached me about that opportunity, and I couldn't say no to that. It was a blast. In 2024, I was at the Teenage Games when they were separate, when it was just at the pit, and it was just the teen divisions. I was there as a mentor. So I was in the warm-up area helping all the teens. And then when Legends and Teens came together this year, they asked me if I wanted to take on a little bit more of a role. And I didn't know exactly what that entailed, but I said I would be there. And then a couple months before, they asked if I had any experience as an MC. And I said a small local comp, but I'll do whatever it takes to get out on the floor. And then I was a part of a 6-member MC team and was on the floor for over 10 hours one day. And it was just a blast. I loved it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So
Was there any extra nerves in there? Obviously, there's a competition floor nerves and anything else you did. What was it different being? Because like I get it. I talk into a mic a lot, right? I talk to a lot of people that I don't see a lot. I've emceed one event, and it was an event that I was hosting, and it was still the most uncomfortable thing of like hearing my own voice and listening or watching people hear my voice. Like it's just this horrible circle of death for me. What was it like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely nerve-wracking. There's so much going on, especially when the heats are bigger than 10 athletes. And then for me too, I really want to pronounce names right. I want to make sure that everyone's getting love like for what they're doing. And I want to make sure that the audience as well kind of knows where the race is and all of those things together. And then the fact that you're on the floor for 10 hours and you're on such a tight schedule. It was a lot of pressure in a different way, but I definitely left the weekend with a lot more respect for judges and broadcasts and everything because it's such a tightly run ship and I had no idea.
It's also oddly exhausting, and especially in your position because you're walking around, you're at a 10 of paying attention, following, you're almost living in the moment with the athletes. Is your athletic experience, does that help you see the field a little bit or know, okay, we might make a move here, or you see something that maybe others don't? Does that help?
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, knowing how to pace a workout, knowing how movements break down, what fatigued movement looks like, it helps you be able to predict some of the comebacks before they happen. So one workout I was on the floor for, I just remember, Jason Grubb had kind of drawn another guy out, but Jason's movement quality looked so much better throughout that it was clear. I didn't want to get ahead of myself before it happened that round 5, he was going to lay it down and just dust everyone. And so just kind of as an athlete, knowing what that looks like and being able to call that is so much fun.
That's awesome. Well, hey, I've got 5 questions for you, Ty. This is our deal. We'll start with some softballs. All right. So like an easy, like what's your favorite color? Maybe not that easy. But as we get from 1 to 5, they're going to get a bit more challenging. So if you're ready, just to let everybody know, the last one is the big one that we have for the show. So Ty, are you ready for your 5 questions?
Let's do it.
Okay. Simple one. What games athlete's career did you follow that maybe influenced your own from a teen now making your way into elite individual?
Well, I mean, I even moved across the country to go train with this guy, but it was Dallin Pepper. Same teenage resume, real good dude, and obviously has something figured out when it comes to training and competing at a high level. So I had reached out to him in October of last year and just spent the last year in Jacksonville, Florida, training with him.
That's awesome. That's a good one. Follow. Funny you mentioned same career. You're almost exactly right because everybody is like, oh, Dallin 3-time champ, once as a 14-15, twice as a 16-17. Same with you.
Yeah.
Here's where the difference is. Are you ready for this? It took Dallin 2 years to make the elite individual. Oh, no, sorry, 3 years to make elite individual. It only took you 1 year off. So there. Dallin's rookie debut at the CrossFit Games. Do you know what place he got?
Was he 17th or 18th?
He got 19th.
19th.
And
Okay,
you,
okay.
sir, got 15th. So just wanted to throw that out there. That's not a bad man to train with. Not a bad career to emulate. However, the 19th to 5th place jump. We'll see. We'll see it.
That
Might be, all right. Number 2. This is on the heels of you actually following me before the show is. You are known for blocking individuals on Instagram. By the way, thank you for adding me. I really appreciate that before the show.
of course.
Who was your most recent block on Instagram?
I probably couldn't even tell you their name, but it was just
just like a little active influencer.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through reels, and it was some fitness influencer that I ended up blocking.
That's so funny.
It's interesting because in the fitness space, you toe the line of like there are some fitness influencers that show a lot of their body off, and then there's some that don't, and so that stuff gets shown to me a lot. But I think it was even yesterday. It was just one where I'm
nice.
Like, it's a little too much, so had to.
Well, that goes to the part B of the third question is why. It's just a little too much skin and sin on that video.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
All right, so you random influence out there, just keep it PG-13 at the best, or Ty's.
It's a public place. Kids are on the app. Like, there's no reason for that.
I'll be sure that I don't break any of your rules. So I know I just got so.
I mean, I'd love to say I spare friends from the blocking. But,
one shirt off pick, Chase, and it's over. All right, here's one I'm curious of. Is what meant more to you personally as an athlete in your career? Is winning 3 team titles or qualifying for your first individual games from Syndicate Crown last year, and it took you the final event to do it?
Definitely qualifying for the Elite CrossFit Games. That became my goal after the 2022 teen season. I actually began training for my first CrossFit Games debut before I was out of the teen division.
Oh, wow.
My focus shifted to making sure that jump happened as quickly as possible. And then obviously you love a 3-way tie going into the finals and having to, send it and just try not to blow up on a nasty event to end it. So that was maybe the most adrenaline I've had in my entire life. So definitely qualifying at Syndicate this year.
What did it feel hearing your name called that you did qualify for the games?
I felt like I was going to pass out from the last 9 sandbag cleans. So I knew what I had to do into the event, but I crossed the finish line and honestly blanked on if I'd done it or not.
Okay.
But then Luke Parker was sitting on a cooler and he told me to sit down. And he was just like, he's like, "Congrats, bro. I think you did it." And he's just
cool.
he's like, "Soak it in." He's like, "It's cool that," he's like, "Look at all these cameras looking at you right now." He goes, "This is a pretty cool moment for you. So take it in." And then the rest of that evening was just a blur. But I just remember feeling like I could take a breath of fresh air for about 4 days, and then it was time to train for the games. So
what's it like having vets in the space that are looking out for you like that, even on the competition floor?
It's awesome. I mean, I really do appreciate, I think there's a lot of sports, and I grew up as a team sports guy. So you get into vicious rivalries and smack talk and stuff. And CrossFit really isn't full of all of that, which is nice. So specifically like Luke Parker, one of the most humble dudes I know, to have the humility to be kind to me and continue to be kind to me all summer, even though, he was the one spot out at Syndicate. And like, that's a tough position to be humble and be kind to someone. And he's been a big influence of mine over the last 3 years. So to do it there with him was so special. But all of them have been, I spent time with Jason and then obviously a lot with Dallin this year. And they're both just so kind to me and willing to help me out and give me advice, which they don't owe me anything.
Well, Ty, that's awesome. And, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. And we have one last question for you, sir. And this is the biggest one, is what is the news that you have to break today?
The divisional athletes are returning to the CrossFit Games.
What? Live from San Jose, California, it's the CrossFit Divisional Games. From July 21st to July 26th, the Masters, teams, and adaptive athletes will once again be joining the individuals and teams games qualifiers. Get ready for an epic week of the CrossFit Games and the Owners and Coaches Conference presented by Hustle Up. Oh, hello, Kevin.
Oh, hey.
Did you just hear the announcement?
I just heard it.
That's amazing.
Great. I'm very excited.
Oh, man. Ty, thanks for hopping on. Kevin, Ogar, sir, the Divisional Games, you heard it.
Yep.
The 20th year of the CrossFit Games are coming back together with the full field intact for the first time in, how was it, a couple years, 2-3 years?
The last time we were together, I think was 2023.
Too long. I am so pumped. I feel like everybody wanted this to happen. We will have more details on that coming up. Heather Lawrence will be joining the show to give us exactly how this came to be, what the schedule is going to be, where it's going to happen. But we know it's all happening in the same week in San Jose, California. You, sir, have been part of the adaptive games for quite some time. You guys had WheelWOD previous to that. Mm-hmm. It's been a whirlwind for the adaptive side because up until, what was it, 2021, maybe WheelWOD was just running a separate deal alongside the Open for years.
Yeah, I mean, from 2015 to 2021, and even through 2021 and 2022, WheelWOD just ran its own season alongside of that. And then in 2021, we had the first Adaptive Open, the CrossFit Adaptive Open, followed by the first Adaptive CrossFit Games on site. We did that for a couple of years, and then split off in 2024 and had our first individual event, Adaptive CrossFit Games by WheelWOD in 2024.
What now? Were you a heavy hand in this? Did you go to Dave Castro and Heather and be like, "Hey, I will not stand for this"? If you guys are not going to bring us all back together again.
For it, I won't.
I should preface that Kevin gave me this card earlier today. So any and all jokes that pertain about Kevin is totally been cleared and verified. He sent me this card. So if you guys are watching at home, it's about to get somewhat uncomfortable for Ty. Don't block me because of the jokes, please.
It's approved. It's Kevin approved. I don't think it was a heavy hand. I mean, I remember in 2023 talking to Dave and Heather on how we could grow the games. And at that point in time, I felt like the best thing for us to do is kind of separate off to get some eyes on each individual divisional game. And that was kind of that's what I suggested we do is let WheelWOD run the adaptive, Pit and Legends run theirs, and then, develop them, build them, and then see if we can't, eventually bring them back together. And so this was just an opportunity that, Heather and Dave and those guys presented to us this year. And, it's 20-year anniversary. I
can't believe it's been 20 years, man.
Dude, I know. 20-year anniversary. And I think the community needs to be together, man. It's been maybe a rough couple of years, and I think bringing us all together and showing us that we're one community, we're not separated out, is going to be really cool and really awesome for everyone.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, online's one thing, but separated when we should all be together is another. And I'm so thankful that they are bringing all the divisions back in 1 week at the CrossFit Games like they've had in the past. And we talked about the roller coaster that have been the divisional games over the years. Like I said, it's early days. It was the WheelWOD games that was on the side of the event, just running parallel to it. Then you guys got brought into the fold for a couple of years, and then everyone was together. Then we separated again. Now it's all coming back. What are the biggest things and takeaways you've learned from those three massive changes in the competitive ecosystem that you're excited about bringing this year to the CrossFit Games?
Ooh, things I've learned that I'm excited about for this year. We've really developed how to, I feel like we've done a good job, and, maybe the comments will correct me. I think we've really developed and figured out a good way to showcase these athletes through our live stream, Instagram, stuff like that. And so I'm happy to bring that back into the games this year and hopefully have the same quality live stream we have. And we've done a lot of work on, making this so it's not just like a sideshow type of thing. These are athletes. They're great athletes. And so showcasing them as athletes, the programming's gotten better year over year. So I think those are some of the biggest things that I'm excited for bringing them back into the fold.
I agree as well. And that what that will look like, we'll speak to Heather coming up after this. But I'm just pumped you get another opportunity is getting it all together and what you guys could build on this coming season versus the next. But Kevin, I do have 5 questions for you.
Okay.
Going into before we get to Heather. So 5 questions for Kevin Ogar. They will get easier, maybe more uncomfortable depending on the viewer. Before we get to it, I would just like everybody to understand is that Kevin has given me a free pass on what these questions may be.
I have free pass.
Yes, free pass. Before we get to the free pass, would you like to tell, or do you want me to tell our favorite story working together at a level 1 seminar?
Oh my gosh. No, you go ahead. This one's great.
All right. So me and Kevin had the pleasure of being on level 1 staff together for many years. And if you guys haven't picked up on this, Kevin's doing his best Tinder date profile right now. Kevin is in a wheelchair. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's catfishing all of you. Don't be fueled by the big, beautiful beard. But is this our first or second time working together in Dallas?
I think it was our second time working together.
So I got the pleasure of opening up with the squats lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin rolled up to me and he's like, hey, you know what would be hilarious is that when you introed the demo athlete, you called me up to the box to demo for the squats. And I was like, oh, I think that'll be funny. It's like, I just want to let you know, as I tried this last week in Denver with Tosh, and it totally bombed.
Totally bombed. They were so mad at him. They didn't speak to him for like the whole day.
Luckily, we were in Texas, and it landed well. But I don't know if I've been more nervous for an opening lecture for a level 1 seminar. But that's and then we did wheelchair races.
I hopped out of the chair in wheelchair races, and Abby almost ate it. She hit it.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of, all right, 5 questions. Kevin, we'll start. Speaking of races, we just saw Mike Egan set a 24-hour record of distance covered in a wheelchair. What was it, like 153 miles?
I think it was 153 and some change.
Oh,
insane.
All right. Well, to me, you seem more of like a fast twitch guy. So who would win in a 100-meter race?
In our chairs?
In your chair. Yes, in your chair. I'm not going to have you guys like crawl against each other.
Probably Egan. He is more aerodynamic because he's missing his legs, and mine will block the wind, and so I'll be a little bit slower. He's a double AK amputee, a little bit more streamlined. So
okay, all right.
So Egan probably win the 100 meters.
All right. This is an easier one. The next one. Oh, I zoomed into myself too much. What's the best part of the adaptive community in CrossFit?
The best part of the adaptive community. Honestly, their support, but also their dark humor. Like, it's almost motivation by degradation in this group. Like, making fun of everyone until everyone feels comfortable enough to like progress each other. But it's a pretty tight knit community. Like, they're really supportive of each other. But then we also have some of the darkest humor I've ever heard.
Yes, you do. And you constantly push me out of my comfort zone in a lot of our team meetings together.
Well, if I'm on push my own chair, might as well push it further.
All right, next one. What is the most challenging part for the adaptive community?
That's pretty easy one. I think
do the dark humor one. Not yet.
No, I'm gonna be straight with this one. The most challenging part of the adaptive community is that a lot of these athletes, especially the newer athletes coming in, have been told for a long time that they can't do things, they shouldn't do things. These things are impossible. Just make people do them for you. Like, don't chase independence. And I think that's stupid. And so, like, I think the biggest challenge we have is that when people come into this community is convincing them like they're way more capable than they think they are. They can do these things. Like, a lot of this stuff is not impossible for them. And so sometimes I have to play the asshole and tell them that they need to try it, even if they don't want to.
Do you feel like the adaptive games now all coming into one spot, which I think can highlight everything more on a grander scale, is a great opportunity to dispel those things that you're talking about?
I think we'll get more eyes on this year. I think we'll have a lot more eyes on. Hopefully a lot of people will come by and watch in person, which will be great. And so they'll be able to see some of these things, like one-arm rope climbs and like pull-ups, like the way they can do handstand walks. The seated athletes, like I think we have seated athletes who are snatching and clean and jerking close to 200 pounds.
Wow.
With no hip function. And like, it's insane. And so I think getting more eyes on he's going to be great this year for it. And like really showing people. And that's what we've seen. We had 300 brand new people in the Open last year who had never done the Open before as adaptive athletes, which is awesome. And I think the reason we had that this last year was because they got to see the games the year before and see like, oh, this is possible. I can do this sport.
And when you hear that number 300, percentage wise, that is a massive influx of athletes.
Yeah. It's about probably close to a third, a little under a third.
So a 33% increase just because of that. That's awesome. All right. We have 2 more questions, Kevin. This may be the hardest one. Who is your biggest nemesis? Me or stairs?
I'm going to say stairs, but only because I can bench press more than you deadlift.
I mean, to be fair, that goes for a lot of people in this category of benching more than they can deadlift.
Yeah, so stairs for sure.
All right, last question. King for a day, Kevin. How would you like to see the future of the divisional games coincide with the Indian team?
I think the answer is that. Let's see how this year goes. I like this idea. I really do. I think people need to understand the complexity of getting the Indies and teams plus 700 plus athletes within the divisional games going at the same time in the same location, what kind of logistics that requires, how you set up the floor, how you set up workouts, all we have to this is a huge task for us. We have to work together on everything. Yeah. Everything has to be communicated. It is a big lift, but I think we can pull it off. I think Pitt and Legends and CrossFit do a great job with their own events. So I think let me see how this year goes. Let's see what we can learn from this year, and then I'll give you the answer to that one next year.
Well, I think we got the right people in the right places, and Kevin, you are a cornerstone of that. So I appreciate all you've done, what you continue to do, and I couldn't think of a better man for the job to make this thing happen for the long term. So appreciate you joining us, man. I'm super pumped.
Thanks, man. We'll keep the stuff rolling.
Boom. And on a high note. Up next, we have Heather Lord.
What if 2 days could redefine your health and your life?
Welcome to your CrossFit Level 1 seminar.
Whether you're a seasoned CrossFitter or new to the journey, this course equips you to take command of your fitness and shape a healthier future.
Yes, hello. Oh, I'm fired. Okay. Can I finish the segment with Heather first? I can. Okay, cool. Oh, sorry. I was just off the phone with Heather. Are you who's sweating more now, me or you?
Yeah, probably a tight contest on that one, Chase.
Heather, welcome to the show. It's been 20 years of the games. We've had a wild couple of years of moving locations, separating divisions, but now you guys have put in the work. I want to say it's like listen to the fan base, but like, look, quarterfinals are back. That was a huge thing to have back. The semifinals, the way they're put together, and now you guys are bringing the divisional games all under one roof. Easier said than done, but how did you guys come to this conclusion for this coming CrossFit Games season?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin certainly put it best, where it's complicated, it's complex, and even this year, we're so excited to be in this position where we do have the individuals and team athletes side by side with our masters, adaptive, and teenage athletes. It was not a smooth ride getting to this announcement today, Chase. There were days when, I mean, one day I would get with the team and say, we're 90% there, it's going to happen. And by the next morning, hey guys, I think we're 50% there. So something came up. And so it has been a little bit of a roller coaster, but the great thing is that through all the fits and starts, all of those event organizers, Bob and Joe with Legends, Brock, and then his number 2, Stephanie, on the teenage side of things, and of course, Kevin and Shannon, his better half with adaptive, everybody was pulling and rowing in the same direction all the way through this. And so even when challenges came in front of us that we had to solve as a team, everybody was there knowing how important this was for the community to have the 20th be something where we're all coming together back in one city.
I like I said before, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that this is coming back. But what logistics is a huge thing. I mean, peak everybody at the games in one time, just the number of athletes that were there, the number of divisions, and that goes for age group, teen, and adaptive, let alone teams and individuals is that managing those logistics in a, hey, what do you think about doing this in, say, August of this year, to have to get a plan in place and dates and locations and all this setup? What is the logistical nightmare that is getting this all done, and the fact that you guys have pulled it off so far?
Yeah, well, besides having really 4 organizations working together, like I said, that common goal really pulls us together. But then when you think about the other side of the coin, which is a location, we've got venues and their owners and their, constituent boards that are trying to rearrange their calendars to help support us. We have the local community that we, of course, want on board as we're talking through this. Hotel logistics alone to make sure that we have hotel blocks appropriate for the number of athletes we'll have in the area that are close to the venues, in addition to spectators, and always working to have a variety of types of rooms for the different types of folks that, what people want to do when they're in town. So there's still a lot of work ahead of us, but we're in a great spot for it to be early December.
What's it like? Because traditionally when the games or all the divisions were under one roof, it was just the games team that was handling this. And now you talked about working with 4 organizations together to make this happen. Has that been a positive change to make this happen from a logistical standpoint versus just, we're all trying to do everything all at once?
Yeah, I think anytime something's hard, it's generally good. Like when things are hard, it's because in an organization, people are contributing, people are bringing things to the table and bringing their expertise. And so having the expertise across these events, as well as the games team expertise, and having 2 years before this year, where the events did have some different formats and what they've learned from that. So we have the background of being all together with a smaller athlete profile from the divisional games, right? So a lot less athletes than we'll have this year. And then we had a lot more athletes. The first year that the divisional games were hosted by the partners. Then we had some changes again. And now here we are again, taking all the learnings over all the years from 20 years and really bringing the best to this new setup for 2026.
I'm super pumped. Outside of the competition side, what we want this to really be at the CrossFit Games is this giant festival of fitness celebrating the fittest people in the world in every division you can think of, which is hard to say. I mean, no one can say that. Actually, that's the beauty of the CrossFit Games. Is like, these are the fittest teams. These are the fittest individuals. These are the fittest age groupers, adapted, like in the whole world. And people want to come see this, whether they're friends, family, community members, or just people that love to watch sport in its purest form that we do have at the CrossFit Games. What are some of the things that you're excited about for those that just want to come and watch this?
There's going to be so much to do. I think we've heard since we've left Madison that people really like that festival atmosphere. And so that's something that team's working really hard on, is to not only focus on competition and those comp days, but also thinking about, hey, maybe somebody does want to take their family outside the venue and have something else to do. The other thing we want to do is create an opportunity for fans from around the world that may want to, tag team on a week of CrossFit Games with their family vacation, to really encourage them to do that. When you think about everything the Bay Area and California has to offer, I mean, there's 419 affiliates in California, a couple dozen around the Bay Area. Take a month, drop in at all of them. I mean, the opportunities are kind of endless for what people can do while they're there. And then comp week, Chase, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So that's July 21, 22, 23. That's going to be the Masters CrossFit Games by Legends.
Okay.
So that event will be at the San Jose Convention Center. Right down the road from SAP. Going to be awesome. And then we're going to switch gears and we're going to have WheelWOD, the Adaptive CrossFit Games, and the Teenage CrossFit Games by Pitt. Those games will be held the 24th, 25th, and 26th, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, concurrent with the individual and team games going on at SAP Center down the road. Awesome. And so there's going to be something for everybody that whole week.
That's fantastic. And I love that we have this, like you said, the entire week from the 21st all the way to the 26th, everyone going at a couple of different times, which means that allows for others to watch some, compete some, or move from one to the next. And as you said, is that there's going to be so much available too that we're just scratching the surface on, right? We got dates, we got locations, we have where it's going to be and when, but do you guys have other things, not necessarily you got to say what it is, but other things in the work other than just like, hey, come watch here, maybe some activations on site or things that just to add to the weekend for the spectator itself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everybody always wants to get sweaty, right? So we'll have workout opportunities. So details definitely are coming together as far as what that full experience will look like. But something for everyone. And then to be honest, it's an opportunity for even competing athletes across those divisions. Everybody will have an opportunity to also interact and see other divisions. And so having that chance to really just be appreciative of this thing that we love, CrossFit bringing us all together, and just taking a moment to celebrate our community on this 20th year. I cannot wait for this year's games. It's going to be awesome.
Well, Heather, I would like to take a moment to celebrate the hard work that you and your team have done to make this happen. It's something I've wanted for a couple of years now since it got, separated. And then the buzz was after the games this year, which was incredible. What the games was, what that can be now for 2026. So thank you for your hard work. Thank you for making this happen. And I can't wait to see what more details we have coming down the road. So I certainly appreciate you.
Thanks, Chase.
All right, take care. Top 10 feats of fitness coming up next.
Forging elite fitness is what we do here in CrossFit Inferno. We forge elite fitness. We have people of all walks of life, of all different levels, of all different abilities that come in here, and they see the workout every single day on the board, and every single person is doing their version of that. Doesn't matter if they're our best athlete in here or if they're brand new. They will get their ass handed to them in a way that their body is going to have some sort of stimulus or response to it that is going to make them better the next day. I don't cater to the masses. I don't cater to the small groups. I set a bar high, and we coach every single person to get their version of that so that they can attain that level. That's forging elite fitness.
Welcome back to our final segment of the show. Before we get there, I just want to thank Ty Jenkins, Kevin Ogar, and Heather Lawrence for jumping on the show. I cannot wait for more details to come out of the 20th CrossFit Games coming to San Jose, California, with all divisions coming together under one roof for the first time in about 3 years. If you guys want to join or try to be in the running for our top 10 feats of fitness, you can tag CrossFit Games, and use the hashtag Forge Elite Fitness, or just DM me, which a lot of you guys do, and I certainly appreciate it, to make our top 10. Before we get there, tomorrow, the CrossFit Podcast will be live on the CrossFit YouTube channel. Harry Lightfoot will be joining James Hobart and Eric O'Connor about Harry Lightfoot taking his CrossFit level 2. Also, it's the holiday season. We have new merch out at the CrossFit store. Go to store.crossfit.com. You have massive discounts that are still available. If you buy anything over $200, you can get 30% off, 25% off, $150, or $20 off, or 20% off, $100 or more. But I know what you guys are here for. So let's get to it. It is our top 10 feats of fitness. Coming in at number 10. I've always wanted to do this, is fitness in the wild. You see a couple of beams, like, can I climb this? So this scratches my itch of fitness in the wild. Coming in at number 9, our PR box jump tent. We've all been there. Stack some plates, get to the height of the box, and having the group behind you. The Open is coming up. This is exactly what the Open is about. It is exactly what we see when we compete. We had a pull-up challenge last week. Now we have a handstand walk challenge. As you can see, the Fittest doc posted this in awe and just what is capable of the fittest people on earth. We talk about Forge Elite Fitness. Doesn't get much better than that. In number 7, we have not AI. The bar control of this man, it was something that I had to look into for quite a while. Absolutely incredible. 25-foot legless rope climb from a seated position. Just over 5 seconds to get to the top. Absolutely incredible performance. Now we get to our top 5. Victor Hoffer, he's upside down. Yes, the man's good on his hands. It's kind of like showing a video of Unikowski swimming in a pool. However, there is something amazing to see the control through this obstacle course, which Victor Hoffer did. I would have fallen 10 times in the last 10 seconds that this video has been going. Yet Victor Hoffer doing what he does best. Look forward to seeing him back in competition one day soon. 73 years old, on an oxygen tank, and still leaping onto a 30-inch box. Yeah, sure, he could stand up all the way, but at the same time, I can barely do this at 5 o'clock in the morning on my own at 43 years old. So congratulations to Carl Dumas. How about Mark Finley? 235-pound snatch with rolled up fire hoses in the firehouse. That is Mark Finley coming in at number 3, getting some attention that he deserves from a fellow firefighter. Let's go from 73 down to 9. Lucy Milgram pumping herself up. 34-inch box jump attempt. I can't do this. Like, box jumps and deadlifts. Horrible combination for me. 34 inches for Lucy. And then coming in at number 1, we talk about dad strength. How about this dad trying to Zercher squat his entire family in his arms? And don't worry, it keeps going. So Ben Barker, with wife and kids in tow, is able to squat his entire family. And I'll speak for all dads, is that something we would love to do forever with our family. And obviously for those that have daughters, being fitter than boyfriends for the rest of their lives. That's why we do it. That's why we're here. Thank you guys for joining us. So excited for the announcement that the Divisional Games will be all coming to San Jose, California from July 21st through July 26th. Thank you to our guests, Ty Jenkins, Kevin Ogar, and Heather Lawrence. Tune in tomorrow for the CrossFit Podcast with James Hobart, with Eric O'Connor, and special guest Harry Lightfoot going through his experience at the CrossFit Level 2. Thank you guys for joining us. See you guys next week.